So this is going to be a quick little tutorial on different kinds of rails that you can use if you are using minecarts as a way to be a mobility aid in your museum. So there are 4 kinds of rails you can see in my inventory. I have a powered rail, so that's the one that has red and gold on it. I have a normal rail that has no other colors but the wood and the rail. I have an activator rail, which has just red, no gold, and I have a detector rail, which has this little square surrounded by red. So here's what they all do. The powered rail is exactly what it says. It can conduct power. This one is off, so we can see that it is dark red. If I push this button, that will temporarily power this rail. We can see that this rail is on, so rather than a button, so a button will power a block that it's on, which will power blocks next to it. This one has a redstone torch underneath, and that will send a signal up through this block to power this rail. Now when this rail is powered on, it will propel the minecart forward. So it's going to shoot the minecart forward. This is a detector rail. So the detector rail senses when a minecart passes over it and will create a temporary signal, kind of like a button. And that will power this rail right here. So this is the activator rail, and I can power it on its own if I put a redstone torch underneath. But if I don't want to dig into my floor too much, I can also use this detector rail that will power this rail long enough for me to pass over it. And what an activator rail does is, if, for example, I have a stop that I want people to get out at, when my minecart passes over this activator rail, I will pop out of it. And over here, we have another unpowered rail. So remember, this will stop the minecart. So once my minecart spits me out, it's going to stop there and wait for me to come and get it. Then we have another powered rail to shoot the minecart forward. And this is for people who are into command blocks. So a detector rail will also pass a signal down through the block under it to a command block. If you don't know how to use command blocks, don't worry about it. But one example of ways you can use it is in this command block, I have a command title at P, so that's the nearest player, title, sedimentary rocks. So when the minecart passes over the detector rail will send a signal to activate this command block, and this section here, the title at P title, is a little bit of code telling the game to put whatever comes after title at P title up on the screen for the player to see. And you'll see that when I demonstrate it in just a second. And then here is my stop at the end, so my minecart will stop rolling, and there is a button to get it started again. So if I go into this minecart and I make sure I am on the unpowered rail, when I push the button, it's going to shoot me forward. There's my detector rail. The activator rail kicked me out of the cart. The cart stopped on that powered rail so that I can look at this wonderful future display. Then I'm going to get back in. There's my sedimentary rocks title, and now I am at the end of this track. And if I wanted to go back again, I would just push the button the other way. The only thing that I would say is if you are setting your minecart up to be 2 ways, you would need a detector on either side of this activator rail if you want it to work the right way. So those are my quick little Minecraft rail tips.